Ready? Ready. Good evening. Alrighty. Let's start. Tonight we have Yonada, and she's going to be talking about, are you afraid of death? Ooh, is a question. Nice. Let's see. It's going to be pretty interesting tonight. So I invite you all for a starting prayer so we can elevate our thoughts, make the room ready for the speaker, for ourselves to connect to the message, leaving outside everything that happened throughout the day. So can we focus here? We're very thankful for this opportunity. Very thankful for the teachings that continue illuminating our path for our transformation, getting us closer each day through our inner peace, through our understanding that we are here to learn to respect one another, to love one another, to understand that we are connected. We ask for our friends, they are in need, for our families, for the countries that are facing war. We ask that peace can come rushing in our directions, so can ease the suffering for those who are in the middle of this conflict. We ask for the speaker for tonight, so she can be involved on the higher fluids. We're thankful for this night. So in the name of our Creator, we ask permissions to start the workshop for tonight. So be it. Yonada?
Me. Yes? No. It's equal. Tá dando eco. Okay. All right, let's start it because I don't need a microphone. I talk loud enough. Well, it's not on, so let me see. Hello? Okay. So this is actually a question. Are you afraid of death? Are you? No?
Yes.
Larry, you are? Very cool. Anybody else? Larry is not afraid. Larry is not afraid. Okay, you afraid? Yes.
I'm afraid of how to, not that.
You're not afraid of that. You're afraid of how you're going to die? Okay. All right. You're afraid of both.
And how.
Okay. Anybody else? No, truly. There is no right answer for this, right? And it's not going to make you look good or not, It's just a sense of, Larry's not listening. The microphone is not on. It's just a sense of be honest with yourself. Okay, so if you are afraid, or if you are not afraid, it's just a situation, okay? So if you don't want to answer me, it's fine. If you want to keep the answer for yourself, it's also okay.
No, you don't have to touch that one. This is another one so he can listen.
Yeah, okay. Não tá ligado. O outro.
No, that's it.
Okay, Larry, can you hear me? It's just for Larry, that one. Okay. So let's go with that. Yes.
How about you? Are you afraid?
Well, I am not afraid. I don't think I am. But I don't think let me see if I say this correctly. I thought that I was not afraid of death until recently, very recently, I had a dream. And this dream, I was going in a car for some reason, and then I lost control of the car, and the car flew. And that moment, I said, oh my God, I'm gonna die in a dream, right? So right there, I was like, I can't die. I can't die. No, I can't believe I'm not gonna die. And then when the car hits the floor, instead of me waking up, I was completely like worried and so concerned about this death. And I was like, I'm going to hold to the body. I'm not going to die. I'm not going to die. So the car hits the floor, and I'm dead in consciousness, not wanting to die. And then I was like, okay. So I'm not dead. So let me get up. So when I get up, this is all in a dream. When I get up, I look at it, and I left my body, behind, and I completely freak out. And I was like, oh my God, no, maybe if I hold over here, maybe if I go back, the police is gonna come and enough time for me to be here. They can resuscitate me or anything like that. And then I woke up, and then I learned a lesson from this dream that it says, from all that I said that I'm not afraid to that, something else is happening, and I think that I could be not ready or afraid to it. So that's why we have to be enough, because the one thing that came to my mind, it was like on that moment, it was my husband and my kids, and they were like, oh my God, what are they gonna see that I died from this car accident? So they came to my mind, and I would say attachments, it's what happened, and when I was doing a little research about this, I found that there was research about the feeling of dying all over. A bunch of universities are doing this. But it's very important. What they found out was that researchers have found death can determine. Look how interesting that is. That means if you are afraid or not of the death. It actually can determine our predators whenever we give to charity or wear sunscreen, believe it or not, our desire to be famous, what type of leader we vote for, how we name our children, and even how we feel about breastfeeding. I was surprised. I was like, what? I don't think I ever gave that much of importance to actually how you feel about that. But how you feel about that can say a lot about you. It's interesting, right? So when we came here to Earth for this present reincarnation, the only thing that we knew for sure is that the body's gonna, it's gonna die. That's the only thing we knew. That's the only thing we know. And this we can reflect upon and say why wearing a sunscreen is important if you're afraid of that. It's because usually people that are afraid of that seems to be more concerned about their body and about their life and how they live their life. So if sun can give you cancer, for an example, and cancer may take your life, then for some people, they're going to be more careful with the sun. They're going to put a lot of sunscreen. And if you're not that afraid, and if you don't, I'm not going to say don't care, but if you're not as concerned with that, like other people are, you might just I'm going to put it once so I don't burn. You're not concerned about the actual cancer that can take your life. Is this clear? Are you getting it? Okay? Yeah. So that's why breastfeeding is one thing. If a mother is concerned about the health of the baby, but to the point that she might think that the baby might die, she's going to breastfeed longer than a person that doesn't have the same concern. And what I thought it was interesting is the type of leader we voted for, right? This has to do with what we think is going to happen to us and what that means or not, what it means to us. So a lot of things is charity, if I give to charity or not, also affects, my opinion and what I think it will happen when I die. So even the name of our children. So I thought it was interesting. Okay, so that's one little thing. Another thing, it was this called death anxiety, okay? A lot of people have anxiety, and a few people can actually say that I have death anxiety, because a lot of the anxiety has to do with the death anxiety. It appears to be at the core of several mental health disorders, okay? Included health anxiety is when a person is very concerned about their health. That person that goes to that many different doctors and wanted to find out what was wrong and what's not wrong. That is why they're afraid of that. Okay? And they are afraid of that, so that's why they have health anxiety. A person that feels too many symptoms and it's always sick, and I have this pain, and I have another pain, and I have all this. Deep down, they are so in fear of that they think that it could happen, and that's why they feel, sick all the time. Panic disorder, I don't know if anybody here had panic attack before, but panic attack, that has everything to do with death anxiety. Because when you have a panic attack, most of people think that they're gonna die. That's the feeling. It's the feeling that they're gonna die. And then they panic over that feeling because they are afraid of the death. And And what this research says is that even though there is this huge, huge problem behind that, we are too scared to talk about it. You don't see too many people talking about that at all. There is some people that it cannot even say the word death. Did you guys know that? I saw one speaker one day talking about the law of destruction, that it has everything to do with death, but the person itself couldn't pronounce the word death. People are afraid to talk about it. And you guys know why? Any idea? How often you guys talk about that?
I talk a lot.
You talk about that? Your death? Your own death?
We're just too busy living.
Yes, yes, yes. It's a good answer.
Well,
Yes.
I think in this environment, like in this spiritual environment, we tend to talk way more and face it, like face to face, not to be shy about it. And I think that's very helpful psychologically.
Yeah.
Talk about that.
Mm-hmm.
But in society in general, I think it's a huge taboo.
Yeah, it's huge. It's huge. And even though that it's something that we're all going to go through, you know? And I think it should be maybe a lighter subject. It's heavy right now, you know, because the way that we see death, the way that we interpret that has such a negative impact. You know, nobody sees as a normal thing. And when you see on the Spirit's book, when Kardec asked about the suffering of the spirits, he mentioned that when somebody is born, that person, that little baby, is in, I'm not going to say suffering, but torment. Because coming back from that side and incarnate in a very small body,
That's death for them too.
it is death to them. Yes. And it's so sad for them, and it's such a happy moment for us.
Yes.
You know? And then when we die, there should be a happy moment for us because we are going back home, right? Everybody keeps saying, this here is just a journey, you know, is a trip. It's something that you're going to come here and spend maybe 100 years, and right after you go back home. We live there more than what we live here. But still, even for us, Spiritist is a topic that no one wants to talk about it. Even for us.
But it's very interesting at the same time that if you want to create a religion, the underlying reason is the fear of death. Nobody wants to talk, but all organized religions and the primitive religions is all about death.
Yes, it is. It's all about what's going to happen in the future, and about that also. So let's go for the next one because I thought it was interesting too. That what do you guys think if a person knows that she's going to die, how do you think she feels? Let's say, for an example, that somebody that just received a diagnosis that, you know, you have no cure, or somebody that is in a death row on a prison that they actually know that they're going to die. How do you think they feel?
Fear.
What else? Then does anybody have an idea?
It depends
the level of evolution of the person.
But
Some person can be sad, can be.
this is just to give you guys a hint. This was a research that was done. Normal people, regular people, they were going to die. They receive a diagnosis or in a death penalty that they know that they're gonna die soon. They don't have much time. How do they feel about it?
I think it's more fear.
Fear, okay.
Lost. I think
Lost.
depending on how they know they're going to die is when they live their most in their life.
Mm-hmm.
So everything they put aside that they didn't have time to do, whether it's vacation, their self-time, whatever kind of time, they try to do it as much as they can. Because I've even seen it in movies, and then they ended up not dying, but then they did all the things they wish they could have done, and then they experienced life a lot more because they knew they were going to die. And a lot of it would be, let's say, for example, bungee jumping or something, or scuba diving with sharks.
Things that they never thought that they would
so
do.
I think it just depends on how they know, and like, you know, you're gonna die tomorrow, okay, not much time, but you have 6 months, you're gonna live healthy, but until 6 months, you don't have anything else.
Okay. Anybody else?
A lot of
I'll give
people.
an example of my uncle. Like, he knew that he was gonna die. He was like enjoying everything, smoking and drinking all the things that he wanted.
A lot of people feel guilty too.
Guilty?
Guilty is a very. I think they feel guilty, like, okay, I'm dying, so who's gonna do this? Who's gonna take care? What happened with my? What are they gonna? They think about what their death's gonna impact other people around themselves, and that's a big thing that have to carry over.
All right. So let's see what research says, okay? So let's see what they have to say. They say, Kurt Gray, one of the study researchers, say, I imagine this because they know things are getting more serious, and there is some kind of a skepticism and focuses on the positive because they know that they don't have enough time left. So it doesn't cause suffering. Only at the beginning, when what the researcher says that if you find and if you receive news that you're gonna die within 6 months or 1 year, at first, usually the shock comes in, and then you are sad for a little while. But then you seem to be able to focus on a positive. And exactly what she said. And most people decided to live whatever they have left. They decided that they wanted to live. So they were only sad, most people, okay? They were only sad for when they first got the news. It's shocking, right? But then they try to see positive things. The researcher also compared the last words and poetry of inmates, somebody that's on a death row, you know, with a group of people tasked with imagining they were about to face execution. Again, there were fewer negative words from the prisoner. Overall, those facing death focus more on what makes life meaningful, including family and religion. Yes?
I have a question. So, when we know we're gonna die, then we decide to change everything that made us unhappy to be happy for a certain amount of time. Why, as human beings, we wait for that to just, you know what I mean? Why can't we get to a point that if someone tells us we're gonna die,
Wake up call.
Yeah.
I could just say, you know what, there's nothing I could change because I'm living my life right at this moment.
Yep. That's the key. That's the key. So Larry, she's saying that why we need to wait until we receive the words you're gonna die, then to be more positive. Why do we have to wait for that? We actually don't. We actually don't. We choose to live that way.
The Spirit tells us
we don't die.
Yes, exactly. But you will die. You will die. Your body is gonna die. Okay? That's what we're talking about. But your body is going to die. So according to your comment there, if fear of death is in fact an inevitable as an event itself, there is one change we can make it to help. In Western culture, we tend to pretend that doesn't exist. Whatever research has indicated that the East Asian yin and yang philosophy of death, where life can exist without death, allows individuals to use death as a reminder to enjoy life. Okay? So we should be enjoying life a lot more if we actually are okay with that. You get it? Life only exists because of death. Yes?
I think to add to what you were saying, I think it's because we all take advantage. So because we don't know when we're gonna die, we're just kind of, we'll push it to the side. We keep on our routine. We keep going to work. We keep saying, oh, tomorrow. So I'm not gonna go into details, but I was hospitalized the last month, so I can't relate to this like so much. Because when I left, I said I need to enjoy as much as I can because we don't know what tomorrow can happen. So I started to change my routine, like coming here more, seeing my family, going back to the gym, going back to things that made me like, wow, why did I stop? You know? So I think because we take advantage.
Yes, and there is another thing that we need to touch is the fact that death and disincarnation are two different things. You guys get it? You die when your physical body, more like your brain, shuts down. Not even the heart anymore, but the brain, right? So when the brain shuts down, you are usually considered to be dead, okay? Now, if you're dead, it doesn't mean that you are disincarnated yet. See? Because for you to leave this body after death, you're going to need to disconnect from the body. And that's a problem, ladies and gentlemen. That's a problem. See why we need to talk about this? Because we need to know what to do when that time comes. Okay? Because it is a natural process. But you have to learn to allow it to happen. You have to. Because otherwise, you are going to be attached to the body. How many Spiritist literatures you guys read about it? Spirits that were dead already for 10, 20, 30 years, but are attached to the bodies. Okay? Attached to the bodies. To the point, yes?
Why is that process up to us and not through some spirit realm, like the spiritual realm that would come and do it?
Because they actually will. You can see, I'm watching this lady on TikTok that I actually follow her because she brings interesting stories because she works when people are dying, and then she can say that 90% of the people that she's with when they die talk about their family members on the other side and say, oh, I see my father, and then he say, I see my aunt, I see my, whoever that is, and they usually come to help. But it's your job to do it, because if they see it while they are alive, and then you are so afraid and you become too attached to the body and to this life, you're not going to be able to see it. And it's not a fact that you are not free, because you are going to be free, but you are not going to be considered yourself free. Do you see the difference? So you want to hold to it. Remember my dream? I want to hold to this body. And then for more than the good spirits are trying to disconnect you, and your family member are trying to help you, you are too attached to your way of living. You see, dying has everything to do with how you live your life. It's basically the way you live is the way you're gonna die. If you live your life 99% of the time, I'm not talking about dying now, I'm talking about disincarnation, okay? I'm talking about this disconnection that you're gonna have to do it from your body. Okay? So first, knowledge will help you a little bit. Knowing your belief system plays a huge role right there. What is that you believe is going to happen after you die? Because there is people actually that believe that they are going to sleep after they die until the judgment day. So you know that, right? So those are our brothers and sisters. Most of Christians believe in that. So what do they do after they die? They sleep. And don't try to wake them up. Because you try to wake them up, they're upset. They're mad. They don't want to wake up. You see, we are unlimited. And we have no boundaries. But our mind can create huge limits to us and huge boundaries to us. It's not the spirit. It's not the created. It's us. We create our own prison. With our belief system. So if you are here and you live this life, and material life is the only thing that matters to you, right after your brain shuts down, the same things is what's going to matter to you. So you're going to be, instead of you going, and flying to beautiful possibilities that's out there for you as a spirit that don't have a body, you are connected and attached to everything and everybody that is from this world. And that's the only reason why it becomes a complexity situation. Yes?
Are you referring to when people are attached to their bodies?
Mm-hmm.
The vision that comes into my mind are those who are hospitalized and sick, or in hospice, or something of the, that nature, that just linger and linger and linger and linger.
Mm-hmm.
Is that?
It's not only them. It's most people that are not ready, accepted, and that has a belief system that is, the belief system takes them to the possibility. You know what I'm saying? So if you die and you believe that there is a hell there waiting for you, you might just go to hell. You know what I'm saying? So it's people, you can see people that die out of a car accident, and they're still attached to their body. You have people that die and have no idea that they die. They're still walking around, doing things that they always did it.
They're confused because nobody is seeing or responding to the they're still there.
They get confused, but they insisted
They're alive.
on that. They insisted because they don't know anything else. How come? I'm here, I have my body, I'm talking, I can see, I'm not dead. And a lot of people go through this. A lot of people die without knowing that they are dead. And they spend years and years and years and years doing the same thing over and over and over again. See?
I went to Mesa Branca. I went in Brazil, and one spirit was like hundreds of years. And he was asking us, why is it that my family doesn't answer me? I talk to them, and they don't answer me. He didn't know he was dead for 112 years.
It is. It's sad because there are a few spirits that live in a World War II and they're still fighting. You see? So it's important for us to talk about this subject, because when that time comes, we need to be ready for it.
Be open.
And we need to be open, not only open, but we need to see that the possibilities that are waiting for us on the other side are way, 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 let's see, more magical than this little life that we live here. Okay? So that's why Jesus says, let the dead take care of the dead and the living take care of the living. There is a reason why Jesus said that. Because when it's your time to say goodbye, just fly away. Celebrate. Exactly. Celebrate. Right, Larry? Larry can't wait. He's like
He tried to cross over for many, many, many years.
Yes. And it's just, it is, because that's going to be a moment. That's going to be a moment that is so important for you. Huh? It's a graduation, yes. It's something that, you're going to go free. Free. And if you are too sad, and if you are too scared, and too anxious, and whatever that is, you're not gonna enjoy that moment. When you see the death of Chico Xavier, for an example, which is a medium in Brazil, if you see people talking about his passage, it's the most beautiful thing you can ever imagine. Why? Because he was ready for it. He was just, whatever life, brings up to you, just accept it. It's a huge thing, guys. Okay? And the only reason why life has all this meaningful is because of that. So we don't have to be afraid of the death. Maybe we can try to reflect a little bit upon it and relax a little bit more when it comes to that. Maybe it's a good idea for us to, when somebody dies, we usually say what to the family member? I'm so sorry. And some of the deaths that we see are people that were sick for so many years. And finally, when they're free, we say, I'm so sorry. Right? See the way we see that? We see that on a very, as a punishment. That is not a punishment. That's why, this is a personal opinion, okay? That's why I hate when mediums in Brazil try to explain why certain people die, because they see that as a punishing. And they see that the person died like that because on his past life, something happened to them and then they have to die that way. Sorry, that doesn't, to me, it makes no sense. Unless you see that as a punishing. It's not. Yes?
Which part of the gospel according to Spiritism that talks about if it was good, he would have died? Like the...
Yeah, people have that thing, right? Yeah. People have that. This is a bunch of taboo that we actually... You see, guys, we are brought up in a society that had a system ready for us. We didn't say much. We just came into this world that has a system, and then we're trying to adapt to that system, doing our best. And sometimes, as a spirit, we need to get out of that system. That system works for the majority of the people that are not interested on something bigger than themselves. The system works if you only believe, and if you want to live this life here, going home, going to work, do whatever it is. That's the system that was created for us. We get in here into that system. Our job is to get out of the system and see the possibilities, the wonderful possibilities that it's out there for us. And when we see, we start to change a little bit and see death as it's not a horrible thing. It's really not. Now, if you were raised in a culture that were afraid of that, and this is what we're living right now, naturally, you're going to become afraid of death. But after you detach from what they taught you, you can actually live your life differently. And everybody says that the best type of death is the natural death. Would you guys agree with that? So everybody wishes to die as a natural death. What is a natural death to you? It's when you come old, and then you're not even sick or anything, but you're just old, so you just go naturally. Is that what it is?
No pain.
No pain. People are afraid of pain, right? So you're just gonna go, yeah? And you go to sleep. Is that what you want? You want to go to sleep, and then you go. Be careful, because if you die while you sleep, chances are you're gonna wake up and not knowing that you're dead. Careful with that. Careful with that. But yes, most people want to do that. So I'm going to give you an advice. If you want to die naturally, you need to start living naturally. Okay? Now, what it means to live naturally? Live your life full of worries. Is that natural? No. Live your life, want it to be the best. Is that natural? No. live your life caring what other people think about you. Is that natural? No. Living your life jealous, comparing yourself all the time to other people. Is that natural? No, none of these are natural. Again, we put ourselves into that system, and we live there, thinking that it's natural for some people, but for the spirit, that's not natural. Living your life holding to grudges, is that natural? Natural? No. So, be happy, enjoy life. Enjoy life. Because we are not here to pay for anything. What is why we're here for? We're here to live. That's what we're here. This is an experience that we're using the experience to live, to forgive, to serve each other, to love each other, to be in peace. That's what we're here for. Now we're constantly tense and we are constantly worried that something's going to happen. This alert state needs to go, because at the moment of that same alert system is going to be there bothering you. And then you might catch yourself in a lower zone, in the umbral, because you're so tense, you're so worried, you don't trust yourself, you don't see who you are. There are so many things that you become attached to. It's a problem. It's a problem. Yes?
But if it was not for the fear of death, how would we push the boundaries of science and technology? Right now, we're surviving this pandemic and we create this incredible vaccine, a brand new technology that we're applying and saving millions of lives. Don't you think there is a built-in fear of death on our system that helps us to evolve scientifically and create a better world right here?
I don't believe it should be the fear of that who does that. Fear, it's not the answer. Now, you want to live better, that could be your answer. The motivation could be, I want to live longer. I want to live as many years as I can here to enjoy my life. There's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with that. So in order for you to survive this pandemic or whatever, you can always use what I just told you. Your love to life can also make you do the same thing. You love life here, so you create a vaccine. You love life. You want people to live here longer, so you create a technology that might allow people to live here longer. Doesn't have to be fear.
Might be hope.
Hope. Yes. You hope. Hope is an important thing for us. Yes.
Because usually when they use fear is always a way of controlling.
Yeah.
Because, you know what I mean? Even if you look in a battlefield, whoever is running, people need to be afraid of them. So it's always a way of controlling people. That's when they use fear.
It is. Fear is the number one mechanism that they use to anybody to control us. And even we are used to control others. You said, oh, you're not going to do this. Even with kids, oh, you're going to do this. Something's going to happen to you. Oh, you're going to do that. No. We were raised with fear. Okay? You don't do bad things because you're going to go to hell. It doesn't stop anybody to do bad things when they are afraid of hell. I'm telling you. You only change You only change when you see the necessity of changing it yourself. And you do it not because others want you to do it or because you want to look good out there. No. Until that motivation is what motivates you to try to change, you're stuck. Because fear doesn't make anybody change.
Fear makes people freeze and paralyzed.
Freeze, control, and then people, marketing, TV, politicians, they all know that. So they use that against us. They use that against us all the time. And that's why, I believe that you might, when you love death, you might be able to love life even more. Think about that. Okay? Because life, we're only here because death exists. And we can go back to our home and come back here. It doesn't change anything. It's us. Because the spirit, it's immortal. You see, it's not a geography problem. See, when some people are depressed, they say, okay, let's go to Switzerland. And that is so beautiful that I'm sure that you're not going to be depressed. And you take that depressed person to Switzerland, they're still depressed. It's not the location. Think about that. You can live here on Earth. You can live in Jupiter, Mars. You can live in Andromeda. You can live in other galaxies. You can live everywhere. It's still you. So geography doesn't change. You're going to be you. So let's enjoy this journey together. Let's just enjoy it. And the Native American says, there is one quote of a Native American that says, live your life that when you go, people are sad that you're gone, but you are happy that you are leaving. Okay? And same thing when you were born. Remember? People are happy, others were sad. And then when you go back, when that time comes, we still have time, every single one of us here probably have the time to live, focus on a positive. And then see that life is not only this material life. There is so much of you. There is so much of you to learn. And most important thing is to develop your kindness, your love, your patience, charity, fraternity. Like I was saying to you, this lady that she works in a hospice. She's a nurse. And every time that someone dies, every day, she says, there is always the same thing. Every time that a person goes to the hospice and they know that they're going to die. And she walks in a room and she said, I hear that every single time. I should have lived my life differently. Why was I so worried? Why? None of this worry makes sense when you're ready to go. None of them makes any sense. Why? Because when you put in perspective, it becomes so small. None of this jealousy, none of this competitive, nothing of this makes any sense. So my question to you is, what Warla was saying, do we have to wait for that? Are we going to do this to ourselves, really? Let's hope not. Let's hope that we can actually enjoy and we can actually praise life. This life here is important for us right now. And we need to appreciate this opportunity, but nothing more than that. Appreciation, love for the life, and have, like, I'm not tense anymore, and I'm just gonna live my life, because if I face that tomorrow or in 40 years, I'm okay with that. I'm ready. I'm ready because I know that this is not the only life I have, and I know that wonderful possibilities, no matter where I am, are waiting for me. Okay? So I'll thank you guys. Does anybody have any questions? No? No questions? No? Okay. Thank you.
Good evening, everyone. Thanks so much, Yonara. It's really good. Okay, so let's get to our reminders. Let's see what they're putting in there. What they're putting, yeah. Okay, good. Let's do the old one. Yep, okay, so we still have our mediumship studies group. It's on Wednesdays. Some of you were here already. We are studying in the realms of mediumship in English at 7 o'clock. If you know Portuguese, there's other classes other studies that you can participate. You can just talk with Luigi about it. We have the Spirits book, Nossa Casa, and in the realms of mediumship, both Portuguese and English. But the English one, if English is your first language or it's your primary language or only language, you can join that class. You can talk with any of us at the library to talk about it. It happens every Wednesday. We also have our group guided meditation in here with Cynthia. She's in Spain right now, but she's still doing it online. We connect with her and we stream it on our YouTube page and on Instagram, I believe. I'm not sure about Instagram, but I believe so. It didn't work? The week before? Okay. Yeah, we'll it's one of them. I'll double check. Yeah. But I know there's because it's a new process, there's also the kinks on it. But I know on YouTube, check because there's a delay on it. So, yeah. Okay. Let's see. Also, we have our spiritual treatment on Thursdays, tomorrow, 7 o'clock. You can come for a meeting to learn and confraternize with each other as well and learn about the gospel according to Spiritism. Or you can, if you're doing a treatment for yourself or for others, anybody that's feeling anxiety or physical pain, we're here to help. Just come a little bit before 7 o'clock on Thursday and talk with us at the library. Usually Daniel, Luana, Deborah, they'll give you the information in here. But any of us, we can talk about that too. And on Fridays, we have the spiritual surgery. For that, you need to talk with Luigi about it, especially if it's something physical. I strongly recommend you to talk with Luigi about it because that will help you. Yes. No, not really. But we're opening. It's more open now. Yes. But you can. It used to be from the spiritual treatment, they guide you there. But if there's any need for something immediately, talk with Luigi, and he will guide you for that. Yeah. Also, every Monday and Saturdays, we have the talks in Portuguese, but we have live translation. Mondays are at 8 p.m. and Saturdays at 6:30. We have the public meetings translated. There's if you look back behind you, there's the speaker, the headphones. We just use that for the live translation. And we also have the passes right after it. And you can bring your water to be magnetized. We still have our yard sale that happens every month. It's a really good source of income for the house to keep the doors open for everybody. We always need volunteer on Fridays to organize it. It starts at 6 o'clock. Even if you can just help 30 minutes, that helps a lot, I'll tell you. And it's usually from 6 to 8, sometimes a little bit earlier. And then on Saturdays from 6 a.m. to noon, there's help anytime you can come in. And it's, you see, we're, for those of you that come, it's fun. We have a fun time and we work and we have fun, and it's really nice. On Saturdays, we have breakfast together here too, so it's a nice thing too, nice incentive. We also have the dinners on Saturdays that helps our house as well. Usually the menu, it's posted on our WhatsApp group about the menu of the week. You can, if you're not in there, you can ask any of us. We'll help you to add you to that list, and you get the information about all the topics of the talks and any meeting that we have. It's posted that, and you can make a reservation. We'll give the instructions in there and everything, and you can just come in on Saturday to pick it up right before the talk. And as you know, we have the magnetized water. For every talk, you just bring a water, put it at that table, make sure you write your name. A recommendation for it, the water be on ambient temperature. Don't freeze it, don't make it cold or heat it up. There are some studies on the properties of the water. After magnetization, they change it. Many talked about it before the pandemic. There are studies on it that when you magnetize, some of the properties of water change, as we expected, and we learned from magnetism. And if you heat it up or you cool it down, those properties, you lose those properties. Okay? And that's it for today. So let's do a final prayer before we get to the passes and to get in tune with the magnetizers to help with the water. So let's all be present here at this moment and be thankful for the life that we have, especially after this discussion. These new ideas are presented to us today. And let's bring that life that is inside of us out. And a big way of it, it's being grateful for the moments that we have. And thinking about that, I am thankful for this house, for the mentors, for everybody present here tonight, for all the energy that we share with each other, making each other better people. Thank you, God, for this opportunity to learn to live, to learn to be myself, and to learn to be happy with others. I'm grateful for those of you that are watching online, for being here with us. I'm thankful for our mentors that help us and guide us. I'm thankful for the family, for my family that always on my side, and we learn with each other. And feeling that gratitude inside of me. And I hope that each one of you are feeling that gratitude as well. That we take strength from that feeling, making our lives easier to go through from now on. And with that, I ask permission to finish our talk of tonight. So be it.